What's up, my PT peeps? One Eyebrow back to talk about The Walking Dead and discussion and news video about the cast of The Walking Dead. Now, I found some of this information out and I thought was very interesting about who auditioned for certain parts and what roles they actually got after that. And I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about The Walking Dead cast because I love the show. And here we go, guys. So I can't imagine any of these people playing different parts now. The actors have really become synonymous with the characters, and a lot of times they just call them by their character name. But season 6, season 7, we got a huge cast and it's awesome, and the actors that they picked I think do a great job all around for the characters that they portray, even though sometimes the actors have to portray a terrible character or whatever, like Gregory or Laurie or Andrea or whatever. But overall, I love the cast and they do a great job. And I was interested when I saw some information come out recently about Jon Bernthal, who he actually auditioned for. And it was pretty cool. But it goes back to season 1, a lot of these castings, and some of season 2 and season 3. But it was really cool. The first one that's really big is Norman Reedus. Norman Reedus tried out for Merle. There was no Daryl Dixon. Merle Dixon was the only one that was there, but they already cast Michael Rooker for it. So Michael Rooker did a great job as Merle, and I'm glad they kept him as that. But they loved Norman Reedus so much during the casting that they were like, why don't we make the Dixon brothers? And I can't picture the show without the Dixon brothers, especially early on in the first season and third season with Merle and Daryl together. And I wish kind of Merle was still alive, but the Dixon brothers instead of Merle Dixon was a better option. I thought that was great because Daryl's not in the comic and they added him for the show, and I thought it was a great idea that Robert Kirkman, whoever came up with it. So we got Norman Reedus as Daryl Dixon and Michael Rooker as Merle Dixon, and I thought that was great. Now the next one is Laurie Holden, who played Andrea on the show, but she actually auditioned for Laurie. And if you know the comics and you know the look, comic Andrea is pretty much Laurie Holden, and Sarah Wayne Callies was comic Laurie. So that casting definitely was better the way they did it, even though those of these characters were terrible in my eyes. We got Laurie Holden as Andrea, who kind of got the raw end of the deal. There's a whole big thing that she was supposed to be still on the show and everything, but Laurie Holden, Andrea, Sarah Wayne Callies as Laurie. And I think that was the right part for the actresses. Now the next one is Michonne. Now, Michonne was portrayed as this character here, but this is not actually Danai Gurira who got the part. This was a stand-in fill-in person because the part was not filled in the end of season 2. Danai Gurira had to audition, I think 2 or 3 times, she said, to get the part, and it was a major role, which is very crazy to think that she had to audition so many times, but I'm glad she did, and I think she is a great actress for the part. But she was not the only one to audition for that part. Sonequa Martin Green actually auditioned for Michonne first before Sasha became a part as well. I don't believe Sasha was initially put into the show because Tyrese does not have a sister in the comic. It's just Tyrese, and I think they liked her, so they added her. And Sonequa Martin Green is great. She's very short. She's only 5'1", so Michonne is a bigger character, I think, than I is like 5'6" or 5'7", and so it's a better overall part casting for Danai Gurira. But I'm glad they snuck Sonequa Martin Green in as a different character of Sasha instead of having just Tyrese by himself. Kind of watered down Tyrese on the show a little bit, but I do like the casting of Sasha, especially as of season 7. Now, Morgan is a big casting, and it was not always Lenny James who just went out for the part. Lenny James is a great Morgan, and I think he is a big addition to the show and a great part of the show, and I can't picture anyone being Morgan. I think he brings a lot to the character, especially as of season 7. But we had another character who got cast in a different role that went out for Morgan. Chad L. Coleman went out for Morgan first, but did not get the part. They brought him back for season 3, and I'm glad they did, but they did water down Tyrese so much. I think he was just such a weak character compared to his comic counterpart. And it's not the fault of Chad Coleman, but, you know, he went out for Morgan, and he's a big guy, and it would be a little different if it was Chad Coleman as Morgan versus Lenny James, and it's just hard to see that now because we have the actors and where they were. The big thing was Shane and Jon Bernthal as Shane. Well, actually, Jon Bernthal auditioned for Rick, the initial audition, but I think he fell in love with the part of Shane, and he kind of liked that he was doomed for the very beginning in the portray that angry character. I think that is more of his wheelhouse too. I mean, everything I see him in different movies and different things like The Punisher and everything, he just has that portrayal of that type of character and that human being that fits Shane so much better than Rick. So I'm glad they mixed that up and changed the whole course of the show. I really can't picture anyone else playing Shane, and really Rick for that matter. I mean, John Bernthal is a great Shane, and Andy Lincoln is a great Rick Grimes, and I'm glad the parts are what they are. And you know, you get, I guess, used to the fact of these characters and the actors playing the characters that it's hard to picture anybody else in the role. But Andy Lincoln, I think, does a great job as Rick Grimes, and I can't picture anyone else. How about you? In fact, he wasn't even the first choice. Thomas Jane was, from working on The Mist with Frank Darabont, and Frank Darabont wanted Thomas Jane, but Thomas Jane went on to play a part in the HBO show Hung that is now canceled. Bad move there, Thomas Jane. But Andy Lincoln is Rick, and that's what we got. So that's the facts about the casting. I thought it was pretty cool. What do you think about it? I can't picture anything. I just thought this picture was hilarious of the the X-Men style mutants of the characters. But overall, I love the castings of the characters. Check out my book on Amazon.com, Fight for Us, The Beginning. It's on Amazon right now. Ships United States and all over. Check out the Walking Dead community page on Facebook. All are welcome. If you like this channel, you like the group, post your comments there. All are welcome. Join our team, Team PT all the way. If you do like this channel, guys, hit that subscribe button today. Really help us out. You guys are awesome. We can't do it without you. Let us know your comments about the casting and who you could see these characters portraying, if they got it right or they got it wrong. Thanks for watching, guys.